There we go. But yeah, Christmas, New Year's, it was fun.
Those are holidays.
Yep. We watched Matrix 4.
Did you like it?
It was bad.
Oh, poor Keanu.
No, it wasn't good. So for episode 67 on Darkness,
Yeah.
our beer is from Surly Brewing Company.
Surly. And don't call me Surly.
Holly and I watched that.
I love that movie.
It's hilarious. Surly Brewing Co. is at 520 Malcolm Avenue Southeast in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hey.
55414. I think this is our first Minnesotan beer. Minnesotan beer. That wasn't a Minnesota accent. So they've been homebrewing since '94 when I was born, and the headquartered opened in 2005. And this is a little bit from their website. It says, great beer above all else. Surly, the frustration we felt when we couldn't find a good beer, much less a great one in Minnesota. So we made some. Great beer is all that really matters. Well, that and pushing your limits a bit, looking out for your people, taking pride in where you're from, and having as much damn fun as you can while doing it.
All right.
Leading Minnesota forward. It's what got us to where we are today. Each day, Surly relentlessly pursues craft beer perfection, pushing boundaries, refusing to brew to style, except when we do. Surly has been a proudly independent craft brewery for 14 years. We wouldn't have it any other way. It serves 13 states and one province. They have a full roster of year-round beers, including Furious, Hell, Extra, Grapefruit Supreme, and Axeman. And our seasonal styles, small batches, and brand collaborations continue to innovate. What's next? It's in the works. Until then, don't settle. Get Surly.
Ooh.
It says, brewed for the North. Everything we brew, we do for the people from the North. We make beer for the hearty folk with distinct sensibilities and accents to match. We take inspiration from dive bars and dark corners and craft beer that is distinctly defiantly from here. We change laws, we experiment, and we continue to brew the very best beer as different as the people from the North. And power of the pint. At Surly, we don't really do things the easy way. We should probably consider it, but honestly, it's just so damn boring. Instead, we do the work, we put in the hours, and we craft the absolute best beer we can. We stand for the beer community in the North, and everything we do is about bringing more and better beer to the people. This beer by Surly Brewing Co. is called Darkness.
Oh.
And it looks like they've been brewing this since 2006.
Is it going to be dark?
Yes. Wouldn't that be weird if it was like a cream ale?
Yeah. It better not be a stout. That will kick you in the shins.
Brewed for embracing the darkness. Our massive Russian Imperial Stout
Oh, son of a bitch.
contains waves of chocolate, coffee, cherry, raisin, and toffee, plus a non-traditional dose of aromatic hops.
Sounds gross. Go on.
Sounds disgusting. Continue.
Tell me more.
Each annual release of Darkness has a different label slapped on the front. For example, 2007's release had the Grim Reaper.
Okay.
2010 had a vampire. 2015 had a bat. 2020 had a gorgon.
Cool.
And 2021 has what appears to be Baphomet.
Let me see.
I'm trying to remember. I think ours is, let's see, Surly Darkness. I think ours is not the 2022.
The fuck is ours?
Ours might be the 20. Let's see, Darkness. Surly Darkness. Let me see which one this is.
Okay.
Yeah, ours is the 20. Ours is the 2020. So the 2021 has the Gorgon.
Gurgin? Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look like a Gorgon.
No, it doesn't really. So this is the 2020 batch. I don't know why Benny's didn't have the 2021 batch, but they're exactly the same. They're brewed the same way. Everything's the same per their website. Since 2014, they've also been releasing a whiskey barrel-aged versions, some aged in bourbon, Fernet, or rum barrels, and others infused with flavors like mole, coffee, blueberry crumble, and old-fashioned flavors.
Oh.
So this is a stout.
Gross.
The Russian Imperial Stout. We've had a Russian Imperial Stout only once before.
Yeah, wasn't it Vlad the Impaler?
It was Vlad. I pulled this from AmericanCraftBeer.com. What the hell is a Russian Imperial Stout? some history. The link between the stout and Russia begins with a well-documented visit to England by Peter the Great in 1698, where he fell in love with stout beers, with the stout name describing only its strength, not its color. But of course, Peter the Great's link to the RIS is disputed, and the correlation often overlooked in many histories, though many Russian Imperial Stouts today bear his name. In the early 18th century, the English had struck brewing gold in experimenting or stout porter, brewing gold and experimenting with darker ales. Sorry. The English had struck brewing gold and experimenting with darker ales, with the first porter appearing around 1721, then the stout or stout porter not long after. The Anchor Brewery of London, under the ownership of Henry Thrall, appears to have first shipped strong ales to the Balkan states and even the imperial court in Russia. The first shipment of strong porter to Russia is claimed to have not survived the 1,500-mile voyage, yet their second attempt, sporting a much higher alcohol and bitterness, found success and quickly became popular in European Russia. So they had to brew it stronger so that it would last the long trip. One such fan of this style was Empress Catherine the Great, who started receiving shipments via Barclay Perkins Anchor Brewery after 1781, known then as the Entire, the original name for a matured strong stout. Again, this would all be less complicated if not based on various accounts, but it all adds to the lore of the style.
As soon as you said Ent, I thought of the trees from Lord of the Rings.
Ent? I need to watch that too. Today, the bulk of Russian Imperial Stouts are produced in the U.S. with
You'll be happy to know it's on HBO Max. And all the Hobbits. If you want to borrow my account.
I might. You can borrow my Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus if you ever want to use that. Today, the bulk of Russian Imperial Stouts are produced in the U.S., with the term Imperial becoming synonymous with a double or stronger version of most any given style, like Imperial IPA, Imperial Stout, Imperial Porter. The BJCP definition accounts for dark, higher alcohol, so 7 to 12%, generally hoppier stout, 50 to 90 IBU, conveying flavors of dark chocolate, fruit esters, coffee, dark fruits, and offering a chewy, velvety, and luscious mouthfeel. Many within the style can come off as hot or overly boozy within 6 months of packaging, so brewers often recommend cellaring for at least that long to make for a mellower tasting.
Chewy?
Yeah, it's a thicker mouthfeel.
That sounds gross.
So that's why the barley wine, like Bigfoot
That was nasty.
and the Goose Island one,
That was gross.
you age those a little bit longer so they mellow
So they get
out.
chewy?
So they mellow out a little more, so you can chew them when you drink them, yes.
Fucking gross.
This little article actually recommends Darkness as one of the Russian Imperial Stouts to try. It's one of the ones they recommended. This is 12% ABV, moderate IBU, unknown SRM. It's going to be pitch black, Paige.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be pitch black. It's brewed with Warrior, Amarillo, and Simcoe hops. Brewed with two-row Golden Promise aromatic, chocolate black, and special B malts, English ale yeast, along with roasted barley, oats, brewer's crystals, and something called DME. Beer's not going to taste good after you chew that
I
gum.
know.
Maybe.
I'm going to wait.
Listen to this. This beer
I'm listening.
has a score
Okay.
of 99.
Oh, that's such a fucking lie.
World class.
That's
99.
just people who pretend they like stouts.
99 world class.
They're like, this is distinguished. What a delicious taste.
It is ranked number 15 in Russian Imperial Stouts and number 228 overall.
I don't believe it.
228 overall.
Okay, I tried Zombie Dust, and what did I say about that?
You're
That
right.
was outside. That was like what? World.
Yeah, it was
world
like 16.
class.
Yeah. Or 20 something. It was world class, just like this. It has an average rating of 4.48 out of 4,204 ratings.
This
And
better be the best damn stout I've ever had in my
we
life.
haven't had a beer this highly rated since Zombie Dust. This is the
It's been a while.
second highest rated
There's
beer.
probably a list on there of like high ranked beers. We should like look through that so we can stop getting such duds.
Well, it's nice to try, you know.
I still want one that makes me go,
Yeah. We'll need to.
I want another one. I'm
But-
gonna look on the list. I'm gonna try and find the lowest ranked beer.
Oh, God. Like Greens?
Something.
Ranked 228 overall.
Greens was a whole mess though.
It was. It wasn't even the right beer.
It wasn't even the right beer. It's just really
Wait till you
gross.
see this bottle.
Okay. It's our turn. Meow meow. What?
I need glasses like this, but bigger.
Those are so
These
cute.
aren't like beer glasses, but drink out of those.
It's perfect because I don't want to. We could just open one can.
It is one bottle. That's all I have.
Oh, it's only a bottle?
Only one bottle.
Oh, I see.
Batteria. Batteria. It's gonna what? It's gonna feed there? Fit? Oh, no. Will not. Alright.
Yes, what I thought.
Check this shit out.
Fucking thought. Chicken. That's a hefty looking bottle. I want to touch it. Let me touch it.
I'm sorry. You should take the picture before you open it.
Mm-hmm. The big ass bottle.
Okay, it does look like a Gorgon. I just couldn't see a face.
Mhm.
That's interesting. She's got very long nails and a very long tongue. What that tongue do, girl? She's wearing a bracelet made of teeth.
Oh, is it gonna fit in there? Probably not. We're gonna find out.
How stupid question it will be if I'm asking if that beer is gonna fit in those tiny glasses.
You didn't read the description.
Let me see. Oh, no, this wasn't on their website.
Oh.
It wasn't on the page. Don't look directly at her. Avert your eyes. The Gorgon entices, fangs dripping with darkness nectar,
Okay,
seducing with undeniable cherry, chocolate, and coffee notes and an aromatic hop punch. One glance and she'll turn you to stone, leaving your darkness vertical in the hands of Keith, the
Keith.
brother-in-law who doesn't like craft beer all that much.
Oh.
You, a modern-day Perseus, armed with an appreciation for our epic Russian Imperial Stout and terrific peripheral vision, must find a way to drink deep, become your own legend.
Peripheral vision. That's funny.
So this is the coolest fucking bottle I've ever seen. This is a lot of beer. This is about 24 ounces of beer.
There's a lot of beer. I also have a very strong impulse to take it. Just smash it. I don't know.
It's got melted black wax on the top. This was bottled on September 1st,
Really?
2020.
Because the end pieces just feel like plastic.
This is wax. Yeah, melted wax. Like Maker's Mark.
Hmm.
Similar thing. So, I'll try to take a photo.
But you always do a photo with the thing full.
Yeah, but we'll see.
You gotta poke a hole?
Yeah, this does not fit. The biggest bottle and its tiniest glass.
Good job, Kasota. Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Pops out a little bit.
I was trying to figure out if I can afford it.
I'll take one with it empty and then one with it. Because you can't really see the...
Ow.
Sort of.
She's comfy. Don't move her.
All right.
Look at her.
Here we go. How the fuck?
Did you take the wax off? Can you take the wax off?
I think you can, but it's like I wanna try and get it first.
Breaks bottle opener. The bottle opener just snaps in half. Can I have the wax?
You want that wax? All of the wax. Yeah, I'll take it off after. I want to get a picture with it on there.
Thanks.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, that smells incredible.
I don't believe you.
Big ass bottle. That smells good. Doesn't smell boozy. It just smells like you smell stout and the
Not getting much.
spices. Mm.
Oh, Jesus. Don't you give me a full glass, Zachary, damn it. Zachary Michael! Don't play coy with me.
Sorry, what'd you say?
You whore. You keep stealing his seat, Bubs.
He's stealing her blanket.
Ah, you're right. Where the fuck are you gonna put that bottle?
Huh?
I said, where are you gonna put that bottle?
I have no idea. We gotta finish this.
You ain't
You're
got
in
no
charge of
fucking-
finishing all of this, okay?
Huh?
Maybe we'll put a cork in it.
I am in charge of.
Finishing it. So the head sticks around on this. It's a tan, dark tan head. It smells spicy. A little bit of
I
fruit.
just feel like I'm staring into the abyss.
You're staring into darkness.
The abyss.
Get it?
Yeah, I don't.
It smells kind of cream, almost like a pastry, like a creamy, sugary. I love the smell.
I'm not getting anything. Maybe my smeller's broken.
Roasted, yeah, like roasted coffee.
It is just dark as fuck.
Yep, pitch black.
Oy, oy, oy.
Mm. Ooh. Yeah, Paige doesn't like it. Mm.
Why gotta be so bitter? My tongue hates it. Like it wants to reject it.
This is so good.
Can I scrape something out of my mouth? Like in reverse? Can we get like one of those dentist tubes that they put in your mouth to like soak up spit? But we do then we put that in my stomach and we take it back.
It's chocolatey. I definitely taste the chocolate in the coffee in the front.
I just
And it's creamy. The mouthfeel on it is
no.
silky and creamy.
Stay there.
Paige doesn't like stouts. Have you liked any other stout or porter that we've had?
No. And I've picked a couple.
It's a world class.
Actually, did I pick more? Did I only pick Vlad?
You picked Vlad.
I literally only picked Vlad because it fit with my topic.
I picked this because it fit with the topic. Let me see.
I'm not saying that you didn't. I'm saying that's the only reason I picked a stout.
I know we've had other.
What? I didn't do anything.
We've had milk stouts.
If you want to spit it back into the glass, you can.
Your brain and brunch with coffee.
But I'm talking about stuff I picked.
Yeah. English porter, Stranger Than Fiction.
Did I pick Stranger Than Fiction?
You picked Zombie Dust. I think I picked Stranger Than Fiction.
Zombie Dust isn't a stout. I'm talking about stouts.
I know Stranger Than Fiction was episode 2.
Mhm.
So you picked Zombie Dust for episode 1. I think I picked Stranger Than Fiction
Okay.
for episode 2. And actually, most of our stouts have been from bonus episodes.
Which means you picked them.
Imperial Stout, Bourbon County Brand Stout by Goose Island.
Didn't I pick that?
Peanut Butter S'more.
Yes, I picked that.
Did you like that?
Nope.
And then Imperial Cookies and Cream Jones Dog. Okay. All right.
What am I looking at right now? Was that a piece of gum?
No.
What is that? Oh, it's a tiny person. Why is that in there?
Oh, it's still got jam. We need to watch this guy.
Oh, is that the baby?
No. It's something she found at her job
Oh.
in just a random article of clothing.
Oh.
And she took it home and showed me, and it looks really weird.
I think
And
it's terrifying.
we've been hiding it in random spots around the apartment. Like, it's my turn to hide it, then it's her turn to hide it. We just find it in places.
Uh-huh.
So when we're eating the bread, I asked her to go to the bathroom to grab me something, and I put it in one of the pieces of bread. So then it was her turn to hide it, and she just dropped it in my glass.
You're crazy.
What do you think? You like it?
Ugh.
What do you like about it?
Is it like the coffee?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting coffee.
Yeah, the coffee, chocolate, a little bit of fruit in the back end, but
I was afraid to taste the cherry because I don't like cherry.
yeah. I mean, it's there, but it's subtle. Shit's good. What are you rating it, Paige?
10.
Oh,
Actually, no. Do I have 9 open?
You already used 10.
What did I
Oh,
use
hold
10
on.
for?
What the hell? Oh, these are. Oh, hold on. You didn't use 10. This is all
I knew I didn't use 10.
fucked up. You used 9 for Merry Monkey. And then 8 was Profound Technique.
Yeah, give it a 10.
Isolation was number 2. Very Bad Kids 3. Profound Technique 4 was the double IPA. Not Far from the Tree was the Kolsch. I'm surprised they rated that so low.
It was okay. It wasn't enough apple.
The Kolsch, yeah. 6. Forest Fauna, which is the American IPA. I might put this at a 3 and move Very Bad Kids up. 2, 1, 3. Okay. That's the beer.
Cool. Why is that open? Close. Ah.
Look at that. It's another wax.
Oh. That looks cool.
It fell on the floor.
Hmm. I just wanted you to look at me so I can.
Wait, did you
not.
try this with the gum in your mouth?
No.
Oh.
I just put this in there. Were you gonna get mad at me if I did?
Oh.
Nyctophobia is an extreme fear of night or darkness that can cause intense symptoms of anxiety and depression. As we all know, a fear becomes a phobia when it's excessive, irrational, or impacts your day-to-day life.
As we know.
As we know. And so it is.
And so it will be.
Being afraid of the dark often starts in childhood and is viewed as a normal part of development. I'm still scared of the dark.
Are you scared of the dark?
Outside dark, not inside dark,
Hmm.
but outside dark.
Hmm.
Put me in the woods at night. Huh! Studies focused on this phobia have shown that humans often fear the dark for its lack of any visual stimuli. In other words, people may fear night and darkness because they cannot see what's around them.
Makes sense.
The symptoms you may experience with nyctophobia are much like those you would experience with other phobias. People with this phobia experience extreme fear that causes distress when they are in the dark. Symptoms can interfere with daily activities and school or work performance. Please don't operate heavy machinery.
When in darkness.
Physical symptoms include trouble breathing, racing heart rate, chest tightness or pain, shaking, trembling, or tingling sensations, lightheadedness or dizziness, upset stomach, diarrhea, yay, cherry bismol, hot or cold flashes, and sweating. And then emotional symptoms include overwhelming feelings of anxiety or panic. Where'd fears come from?
You can probably have some fears that are overwhelming.
Fears are so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
An intense need to escape the situation, detachment from self, or feeling unreal. Losing control or feeling crazy, feeling like you may die or lose consciousness, or feeling powerless over your fear.
Hang on. Oh. Charge my watch.
Oh. I don't like all the sounds that are happening in my ear right now. Why are you adjusting my mic? I like it being directly in my chest. I don't like that. I don't like what you did. That bothers me. How is this better?
Because it's closer to your mouth.
That doesn't make any sense.
The thing making noise.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Fear of darkness and night often starts in childhood between the ages of 3 and 6. At this point, it may be a normal part of development. It is also common at this age to fear ghosts, monsters, sleeping alone, and strange noises. I mean,
Right.
I feel like you could fear ghosts and monsters to your adult years.
Yeah, any age.
Additional risk factors include an anxious caregiver, some children,
Some churros.
churros. Some children learn to be fearful by seeing a parent's anxiety over certain situations. An overprotective caregiver, some may develop a generalized anxiety if they're too dependent on a parent. Stressful events such as trauma, motor vehicle accidents, injuries, and genetics. Some adults and children are simply more susceptible to fears, possibly due to the genetics.
Susceptible to fears in general or susceptible to nyctophobia?
To fears in general.
Oh. So if you're a pansy.
Oh, whoa. Who says pansy? What are you?
What are you, 6?
60?
60?
Nyctophobia may be associated with a sleep disorder like insomnia. A small study on college students with insomnia uncovered that nearly half of the students had a fear of the dark. The researchers measured the students' responses to noises in both light and darkness. Those who had the most trouble sleeping were more easily startled by noise in the dark. Not only that, but the good sleepers actually became used to the noises with time. The students with insomnia grew more and more anxious and anticipatory. Isn't that weird?
That makes sense. Science.
I was quoting something.
Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
That's a quote?
From Austin Powers Gold Member.
Oh.
Treatment will include what we've talked about before,
Exposure therapy.
and cognitive therapy, relaxation, and some medications.
Stick them in a room with no lights. That'll fix them right up.
Are you scared now? Are you scared now? And then shake it. Hit it with a stick. Hit the box that they're in with a stick. Nyctophobia may also be caused by an evolutionary fear, as many predators hunt at night. which is, not something we really need to worry about.
No, being apex predators ourselves.
But what happens when the predators hunt the predators?
When the predator becomes the prey.
Serial killers.
Aliens.
I've been watching a lot of stuff on orcas lately.
Orcas are dope.
Orcas are murderers.
Orcas are really cool, though. They're not called killer whales for no reason.
They fuck people up. Not people, animals. My brain. Symptoms include becoming nervous in a darkened environment, being reluctant to go out at night, experiencing physiological symptoms, which we talked about, and the need to sleep with a nightlight. Do you sleep with a nightlight?
I used to. Actually, I used to sleep with my TV on, like on
Because you were scared of the dark.
on the darkest setting, because I just needed some sort of stimulus while I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So the lowest brightness setting, and then the lowest volume setting, so I could just barely see it and barely hear it, just to have something, knowing that something is happening outside, because I was scared of just being asleep in a room with nothing happening, no sound, no light, anything.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's not a problem.
Was this like a week ago? Yeah. Some researchers, beginning with Sigmund Freud, consider the fear of the dark to be a manifestation of separation anxiety disorder, or SAD.
Oh, that's sad.
You're right, it is.
Hmm.
An alternate theory was
Posited?
Yeah.
Posited.
Poisoned.
Poison.
In the 1960s, when scientists conducted experiments in a search for molecules. I almost said molecular.
Molecules.
Molecules. Responsible for memory in one experiment, rats, normally nocturnal, were conditioned to fear the dark.
Whoa.
That seems fucked up. And a substance called scotophobin, I think, was supposedly extracted from the rats' brains. This substance was claimed to be responsible for remembering this fear. But these findings were subsequently debunked.
Interesting.
Why you gotta do that to rats? Rats are angels.
Leave the rats alone.
That's it, dude.
All right.
Bruh.
That's a good overall encompassing definition and explanation.
Thanks, I try.
Good job, Paige.
Yeah.
I want to drink more of this, but I need to work in an hour.
Why it tastes bad?
Tasty. So my section's a little weird.
Why?
I think the first thing I looked up is longest periods of time spent in the dark.
The Dark Ages.
I see you. And I found a few stories of some people. First, I'm going to read this article by the Science Explorer that talks about the physiological effects of darkness on humans. It's called Isolation in the Dark Drives Humans to Brink of Insanity, Studies Find. This was published November 2015 by Kelly Tatura.
Did I tell you that I really want to do what's it called?
A sleep study?
No, sensory deprivation tank.
I want to do that too.
I'm curious.
Maybe we can both do that. Remember that GMM episode where they did that?
No.
Yeah, there's a GMM episode where Rhett and Link did
I
that.
don't remember.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I want to do that. You could sleep for days and think it was a nap. We take natural light for granted. We don't realize it, but it gets us up in the morning, takes us through our regular day, and its absence sends us into our nightly slumber. So what happens when our body is deprived of light? Very strange things indeed. Two cave explorers, Josie Loris and Antoine Seni, took on a particularly gloomy mission in the name of science, living alone in a dark, desolate cave for months to test the effects of isolation, loneliness, and darkness. They didn't even have the company of one another. They resided in separate caves a few hundred yards apart. The only people Loris and Seni stayed in touch with were researchers at a control point who tracked their sleeping and eating habits, as well as memory and vital signs, according to The Atlantic. Loris, I hope I'm saying that right, and Seni weren't given any insight about how time was passing outside of their dark living holes.
Loris, like a slow Loris?
Laures. Lauris.
Have you seen a slow loris before?
Yes.
They're weird.
They are weird. When they finally emerged, they had to wear dark goggles to shelter their eyes from the bright sunlight,
Oh, no.
and their senses of time were insanely warped. Loris spent 88 days in the cave, while Senni spent 126. When Loris came out of her cave on March 12, 1965, she thought the date was February 25th. Senni's sense of time was even more distorted. Just a few days before emerging from his cave on April 5th, he thought it was February 4th. In their minds, they'd lost months. Even crazier, the researchers reported that Senni would sleep for stretches of 30 hours at a time, but wake up believing he had just taken a quick nap. Further research done on human physiology in total isolation reveals that humans can even stretch their sleep cycles out for 48 hours.
Gross.
When it comes down to it, our body's natural cycle and circadian rhythm rely on natural light, and without it, our physiology goes wonky. The same goes for living in complete isolation. Being deprived of interaction of any sort can make us lose our minds. Exhibit A, Tom Hanks making friends with a volleyball in Castaway.
Do you know the record for longest time spent awake?
Longest time spent awake?
Yes.
I don't.
Without going to sleep.
No.
11 days and 25 minutes.
Oh, God.
That's gross.
Why?
Ugh. It was a sleep deprivation experiment.
Oh, jeez. 11 days.
That's gross. 264 hours. And it was a high school student that did it. Motherfucking 17-year-old. They need to be sleeping.
Jeez. That's terrible. I stayed awake for like 36 hours and it almost killed me. In fact, Loris and Senni turned to creatures most of us would reject with disgust, rodents. The Atlantic recapped Senni's experience of spreading jam on the cave floors to try and attract a mouse he could keep as a pet. His attempt went awry after he tried to trap the mouse in a dish and, due to poor aim, accidentally crushed the rodent instead. Loris, more fortunate than Senni, reported that a white mouse was her sole companion throughout the whole ordeal. Since this type of sensory deprivation is often used as a torture technique during wartime, a British study locked up 6 volunteers in dark solitary confinement for 48 hours to test its effects. According to the Daily Mail, Adam Bloom, an extroverted stand-up comic, fared particularly terribly. He says at one point he started singing and then suddenly burst into tears, feeling as if his emotions were running out of control. Then, quote, "Then I found myself suspecting the whole experiment was a trick," he recalls. "How did I know who these people really were? What if they'd gone home and I was trapped down here forever?" He says that the utter darkness caused him to completely lose his sense of time. He'd doze off and then wake up not knowing whether it was night or day, and even meals didn't help restore a feeling of normalcy. In fact, he and some of the other volunteers actually started hallucinating. A heap of 500 oysters, tiny cars, snakes, zebras, fighter planes, mosquitoes, and even the sensation of the room taking off.
How did they specifically know it was 500 oysters?
I think he counted when he was hallucinating, and he was able to provide that accurate statistic. The BBC went on to produce a documentary using footage of the 6 volunteers called Total Isolation. Bottom line, humans need light and interaction to stay sane. Without light, we lose our sense of time, and without interaction, we become consumed with loneliness and boredom. With this sensory deprivation comes the strangest, most unimaginable psychological effects. Unless you work third shift. In which case, you never see the sun.
The sun? What's that?
Couldn't tell you. There are also people who do this for fun or for research. There's an article from The Guardian. It's called 3 Years in a Cave and Trying for 6. Published October 2006 by John Hopper. I'm going to read that one too. It's kind of short. Maurizio Montalbini is Italy's least gregarious citizen. The 53-year-old sociologist has distinguished himself by spending almost 3 years of his life in total on his own and underground. Yesterday, Mr. Montalbini vanished into the gloom of a pothole near the eastern Italian town of Ascoli Piceno, having instructed his support team that so long as all went well, he should be left undisturbed for another 3 years. He is already credited with the longest time spent alone underground, more than 12 months between 1992 and 93.
So he's a mole person.
Correct. By spending lengthy periods alone in the dark, Mr. Montalbini has helped scientists to explore such riddles as why human beings who are shut away have longer daily cycles. Quote, when I stayed underground for 366 days, I thought that only 219 had passed. He was quoted as telling the La Repubblica. When another Italian hermit, the 27-year-old interior decorator Stefania Follini, lived by herself in a sealed cave for 130 days in 1989, she tended to stay awake for 20 to 25 hours at a time and sleep for about 10 hours. Her menstrual cycle stopped. Similar experiments elsewhere have led to psychological complications and, in one extreme case, a suicide.
Oof.
Mr. Montalbini plans to while away his time in the Grotta Fredda, literally cold cave, at Acquasanta Terme. His support team has created a 10-square-meter home for him, equipped with running drinking water and an electricity supply to power the array of medical devices that will monitor his physical condition and relay the data to the team on the surface. At night, or rather what he will think is night, Mr. Montalbini will be able to snuggle into an enclosed wooden bunk. Most of his nourishment will come from pills and capsules of the sort used by astronauts. But as a concession to indulgence, he will have with him 4 kilos of honey, 2 kilos of walnuts, and 1.5 kilos of chocolate. You know what kilos are. We don't here. We don't do kilos.
They're for the week.
Honey, walnuts, and chocolate. That's all you need.
That's a lot.
He was also... We have a question.
Do you know what is a liter?
A liter, yeah.
What is a liter? A liter in weight?
Uh-huh. That's a kilo. Oh, okay. He was also reported to have a library of 85 books that could be read by the glare of a lamp. Italy's star loner has been toughing it out at intervals over 20 years. In 1987, at the age of 33, he emerged blinking into the light near Ancona to claim the then world record of 210 days underground. His last monumental stint of shadowy inactivity lasted until April 16, 1998, which he thought was February 9th. Over a period of 166 days, he had lost almost 2 stones and never slept for
Where'd they
longer than
go?
5 hours. He probably had more stones when he went in,
Oh, okay.
and then he only lost a couple of
Okay,
them.
that's good.
Yeah. He was able to take the rest of them out with
Just a
him.
bag of stones? Like a bag of marbles?
I think, yeah, like a basket
Are
maybe.
they smooth stones?
In a cave? I don't know.
What's a stone, though? How big is that?
How big is a stone? What's a stone? Stone's Europe.
No, I meant like, a stone.
Yeah, a stone.
Yeah,
How big were the stones that he lost?
yeah.
Were they like small
That's
boulders?
what I'm saying.
Hmm. My internet's not working.
Wow. Yeah, it's not. How embarrassing.
Hmm. 1 stone is 14 pounds.
Hmm.
So he lost 28 pounds. While he was beneath the surface, the area in which his cave was located was shaken by a major earthquake, and he admitted to the reporters who greeted him on his emergence that, quote, for the first time, I was frightened.
You're underground.
Asked 8 years ago if he preferred life in the cave, Mr. Montalbini replied, are you trying to be funny? I'm not going back in there. I need the sun. I used to dream about the dawn. It's an experience I would not repeat. And there are also several cities and towns located in Earth's polar circles, the North and the South polar circles, that experience 24-hour night cycles, anywhere from 3 to 9 weeks.
Wow.
During these periods of time, the sun remains below the horizon. So the sun never comes up for 3 to 9 weeks.
Jesus.
Most of these cities and towns, there's some in Norway, there's a town in Alaska, some in Russia. Most of these cities and towns don't experience total darkness, of course, since light from the sun refracts enough to provide an adequate amount of light, similar to twilight. But the lack of sunlight can still have some negative psychological effects on some residents of these towns, according to a few articles that I read. Suicide, depression, and substance abuse is common in some areas that experience this, quote, polar night. That's what it's called, polar night.
Why do people like living in those areas?
I don't know. There's a town in Alaska, the northernmost point of Alaska. It used to be called Barrow, but they changed their name to the old Inuit
Oh, yeah, I
name
saw that,
that the city had. They experience a polar night of a few weeks, I think.
Hmm.
So it's crazy. I'm glad that we get day and night cycles here consistent, but the weather sucks.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like
gonna move
-6
soon.
outside.
I'm gonna move soon.
It's booty. That's my section.
Oh, thank God it's over.
It's over. It's finally over. We
We're
can stop
free.
drinking the beer and talking about it.
Oh, thank God.
What did you think of the
Hey!
beer? That was
Hey!
very loud in my ears.
Don't you ask that fucking question. That's my question. That's my thing. What did you think of the beer, Zach?
I liked it.
Asshole.
I liked it.
Have it on my toes.
I liked it. It was, yeah, I can taste the coffee. I can taste a little bit of chocolate in there. It's some roasty, toasty. Roasty, it's got some roasty toasty going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like the sweetness, a little bit of the fruit I can kind of pick up, but the smell is wonderful. It smells like coffee. Thick mouthfeel. A little bit of bitterness in there on the finish. But just good. It's like a coffee beer, but it's an Imperial Russian Stout. Russian Imperial Stout. What about you?
Blech.
All right, Beer and Fear Cast.
I didn't get the smell that you were getting, and the taste was just really not pleasant on my tongue. I just don't like stouts, man. I don't feel like beer should be thick.
Thick.
I don't think that's right.
Um,
It's an affront to my very nature.
well, it's got some stumps too. That's the magic of beer, is that there's so many different ways to do it.
Don't spill.
I'm not going to spill.
You spill all the time.
You're right. There's so many different ways to do it, though. And it's nice to have something different
Are you
every now and
drunk?
then.
Should we worry about you?
I'll be okay.
Okay.
I just can't stop drinking this because it's so
Put it
good.
down. You have work.
Oh, look at the internet. My blinking light up there.
Oh, yeah. You broke it.
Yeah, everything's shut down.
Put that down.
Okay.
Now. No more. Yeah, I didn't like it.
I'm sorry. It's a world-class beer.
It gets a 10.
World-class beer. Ranked
Not a 10 out of 10.
99. 99.
Okay, the internet doesn't know what it's talking about.
Um,
Thing.
Beerandfaircast.com is our website.
Thanks.
You can watch our video episodes that we record congruently with our audio episodes. You can watch those live on YouTube while we record,
Yeah.
while we're drinking the beer.
Yeah.
You can watch them.
Yeah.
And then if you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, you can stay up to date with our weekly releases. We release new episodes every Wednesday at noon Central Time, 12 p.m. Central Time. And then you can watch the video episode again or listen in or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to
No
do.
pressure.
And then if you go on our website, click on the About page. There's a contact form you can fill out if you want to reach out to us. Also, beerandfearcast@gmail.com is where you can email us if you want to say, oh, what up?
What up?
That's all we got. 67, Darkness, Surly, Stouts.
Have a good day.
Huh?
Open your gifts.
Yeah, open your gift.